Hey, this is Pat with Racket Stringing Tip. Today we are going to talk about stringing labor. I initially was thinking about contacting somebody in all the 50 states and kind of find out what is the average price in each state for stringing labor. And as I got to kind of work through some of the different states and contacting a few people, getting on websites, you know, that it was becoming a little bit laborious. And so what I decided to do is just kind of, I think I got through about 20 to 25 states. And you know, initially the idea was just to kind of figure out, okay, so what are people charging for stringing labor? You know, it seems like, you know, I've talked about this before, but it just seems like tennis stringing labor is kind of lagging behind just the general labor market in itself. For example, one reference that I like to always use is car repair labor, right? So if you look at that, I think historically that's probably grown at a higher percentage than racket stringing labor. And you know, of course, there's a lot of various reasons for that. But I think that if you are a professional racket technician, you deserve to earn a decent wage for stringing the racket. You know, you've spent time carving out that craft, because it seems like historically over the last 20 to 25 years I've seen stringing prices just go up just a little bit, you know, year over year, and not even that, because I remember, you know, 25 years back I would see $12. Actually, probably back then I probably saw $10 as well. $10, $12, $15 even. I remember, you know, charging $20, not even, you know, probably 20 years ago. I don't know, but you know, and so I kind of wanted to see, hey, is it, you know, are we going anywhere with that? Is it getting better, or are stringing prices going up? So I'm going to kind of go over that a little bit today, and so let's just get right into that. But what I found, not only for stringing labor prices, I also found some other interesting things that I think will help you in your stringing business. So you want to make sure you stay tuned for that. All right. So first off, I found out a lot of people would, of course, put down, you know, what type of machine they use, as long as it's an electronic machine. If you're not using an electronic machine, you're probably not going to mention it anywhere in your advertising or in your website. So you know, I would see anything from, you know, electronic pole to Babolat to Babolat Star 5 to Alpha Electronic to Prince Electronic to computerized. So it got me thinking, like, really the only people that really know what that means are people who have been in the stringing business, or have you know, had their racket strung for quite some time and are somewhat familiar with stringing machines. So if you're going to just put computerized, or you're going to put Babolat Star 5, I think you're going to have to clarify that a little bit more, because for a lot of people, you know, who might just be recreational players, I don't know if that's going to really be enough to have them coming over to your camp just to string the racket, because I don't know if that's going to, you know, having something say Babolat Star 5 versus computerized, that's not really going to mean much. So you know, that's one takeaway from this, I think, is this: you're really going to have to clarify, you know, what it is that you can do with your equipment that makes your stringing better. Okay, so back to the labor. Sorry, I got a little off tangent there. But so I would see mostly, okay, so labor, $20, multiple rackets, $18 each. Okay, so right there, they're discounting if you give more than one at a time. Okay, 24-hour service. I see that a lot as well. Now, just straight up $20 labor. And then somebody here, $19.50 labor for 24-hour guarantee. $19.50. They must be competing with somebody and just kind of trying to, you know, take 50 cents off or something and try to get the deal on that. But MRT, same day and next day stringing with a fee. And so they charge $15 if you are willing to wait for 48-hour turnaround, or $20 if you're willing to do if you want it in 24-hour turnaround. So what they're doing is they're not charging you a certain amount for their expertise, but for your convenience. Okay, so if you really need it quicker, you're going to be paying extra for that. If you sign up for a newsletter, save $5 on a restring. Okay, that was another person, and they charge $18. Or they charge NXT, they'll put it in for $32 strung. You're not making a whole lot of money then, because you figure you're paying $18 to $20 probably on the NXT, at least, maybe even a little bit more. Well, I mean, it probably breaks down to about $18, $20 if you can get a good deal, get it wholesale. But so they're charging $12 probably for labor. I mean, that's just way too low. South Dakota, I found somebody who was charging $25 labor. I think that's probably a smaller tennis market. Maybe there's not as much competition. Quick turnaround, convenient drop-off. They are a USRSA member. If you don't know what that is, I'm going to make a video about the USRSA and the MRT certification and all that another time here soon. So make sure you subscribe so that you'll get notification of that. Computerized, and that was for $20. So all that quick turnaround, convenient drop off. So they might have a few places you can drop them off. Sometimes if it's a club, they'll have that drop off. Oh, I think that was my timer. Let's see. In New York, actually, I found that if you bring your own racket, you get charged $30. And if you want natural gut, it's going to cost you $35. So it's going to cost you an extra $5 for the natural gut. If you purchase a racket from them, then they'll do it for $20 and $25 for the gut. So they basically knock $10 off if you buy a new racket from them. But I thought that was really interesting that they charge more for gut, because obviously gut takes a little bit longer, and so they're assuming that they're going to charge you for that extra time. Here's another one. They listed a bunch of different services for different, like regrip labor, grip buildup labor, grommet replacement labor, and they were charging $20. Or you get $6 off if you purchase the string there. So they must have it, separate, like an a la carte rate. So you choose what string you want based on whatever that price is, and then you add the labor to it, and then you minus the $6. And somebody else noted they have a professional stringing machine, $15 labor, 24-hour turnaround. In Washington D.C., I also found $25 for labor, or if you buy, and then another person had, they mentioned that they had a Babolat Star 5, they're an MRT, $12 if you buy strings from them, or it's just $16 labor straight up. And somebody else, Alpha Computerized Machine, or Prince Neos 1000 with the computerized machine, $15 labor tennis, $20 labor racquetball, and they gave you a team discount, or the 5th stringing is free when you buy the first 4. So it's like one of the discount cards. You stamp it for 4 times and then you get a free one. Another person, labor 18, USRSA member, MRT. They use a Prince electronic machine, and they charge. As an example, you can get NXT for $35. So again, that really lowers down the labor cost. So those are some things that I found. And so I think some takeaways there are, you really need to make sure that your audience, whatever your audience is, if it's, everybody who has a tennis racket that needs it strung, you need to make it clear that, I think it would be helpful to make it clear that, what exactly are you offering? I mean, what does electronic pull mean? What is computerized? What good is it using a Babolat Star 5? I mean, we know that those are quality equipment, but you need to make sure that your customer also knows what that is. And so I saw labor anywhere from $12 to $35, but really I would urge you to start thinking about increasing that and adding other services. And the one thing I would say, don't discount your labor. That is the one thing that's your expertise. Keep that consistent. If you want to add some other things in, create some kind of package deals, create like a monthly club, create some other benefit. Don't discount your labor. And so I would say start at $20. Maybe if you're already at $20, go to 25, and then just increase your marketing, increase your expertise, and just really demonstrate that you are the go-to person. Because ultimately, racket stringing is fun. We do it not just for getting that labor cost, but we also want to make it worth our while, right? And if you were just doing this for $12-15, I mean that's a lot of work for that amount of money. So I would say figure out a way that you can increase your cost and yet offer value within that, where the person the customer is going to come to you even if you actually charge more for labor. That's ultimately it, because the lowest cost is not always the best, right? So anyways, I just wanted to kind of go over some of those things that I found. It was kind of interesting to see some of the different offerings that different stringers and different technicians around the country charge. And of course, this is in the United States. It's going to vary if you live in Europe, if you live in China, if you live in Australia. So this is specifically geared for the U.S. market. That's the market I'm familiar with. And of course, you need to look at the competition in your own local area to help determine kind of maybe a starting point for you. And see what other people are offering. See how they're advertising. Go on to Craigslist. Go, do some Google searches. Look in, just your local tennis club. Look at where people get their racket strung. Go to the park where people play tennis. Find out where they get their racket strung, and so forth, and go from there. So I hope that helped. I hope that gave you a few ideas, and we will see you next time. Thanks.